Uh, Afternoon, our senior staff members of the ministry here. Recognize the Deputy Executive Director, Misemi Shidute, and also the Deputy Director, who is now Acting Director, Mrs. Kutuba here. The media, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to be here this afternoon for this very important occasion where I am hosting this press conference to announce the new implementation protocols for that guides our international tourism revival initiative that was announced by our head of state, His Excellency Dr. Hage Geingob, in June 2020. These protocols have been subjected to a comprehensive consultative process and have now been signed off by the three ministers. That is the Minister of Environment, Forestry and Tourism, the Minister of Health and Social Services, and the Minister of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security. The protocols have been agreed upon and will come into effect as from 1st of September 2020, which will also signal the reopening of our Hosea Kutako International Airport to international tourists. This is imperative to know that this initiative targets leisure travelers and will be reviewed bi-weekly and amended if necessary as implementation proceeds. All visitors will be required to adhere to the prevailing safety and health regulations in terms of COVID-19 state of emergency. The implementation protocol contained here also details information and guidance to both visitors and accommodation establishments and the tourism industry at large. The protocol provides information on 1. Entry requirements, 2. Requirements for local tourism industry service providers, 3. Requirements for airlines, 4. Testing or screening on arrival, 5. Transfer from airport to the tourist establishment, 6. Seclusion requirements, 7th, tracing and case management, and 8th, visa requirements. We are all aware that the tourism sector has been one of the hardest hit by this COVID-19 pandemic due to the closure of our borders and a complete absence of visitors from abroad over the past months. This has had a terrible impact on direct and indirect beneficiaries of the tourism sector, such as hotels, communal conservancies, travel agencies, airlines, vehicle rental companies, tour operators, hunting operators, as well as our restaurants and the entertainment facilities targeting tourists. Although diverse efforts have been made to stimulate domestic tourism during the COVID-19 state of emergency period, the survival and the regrowth of the tourism sector depends mainly on our ability to attract international tourists. The implementation of this protocol being announced today here aimed to get the critical tourism and hospitality sector back up and running by putting in place the necessary measures and good practices to regulate sector in the context of COVID-19 pandemic. This is a fine balancing act And these implementation protocols are designed to help us ensure that international tourists are still able to visit Namibia without compromising the public health of neither Namibians nor their own health. The full implementation protocols will be shared with you later, but allow me to highlight a few of the pertinent requirements in these protocols. In terms of entry requirements, entry to the country will only be allowed by Hosea Kutako International Airport. All travelers must present a negative PCR test result not older than 72 hours before boarding the plane and to be allowed to enter Namibia. All travelers will be required to stay for 7 days at their first tourist facility of booking, which must be duly registered with the Namibia Tourism Board and certified by the Minister of Health and Social Services. The tourists must proceed directly to their first accommodation from the airport, and no overnight or stopovers are permitted. All tourism establishments must observe the general health and safety protocols as stipulated by the Minister of Health and Social Services. Detailed COVID-19 protocols for all operations in the tourism sector have been put in place by the Namibia Tourism Board. All tourism and the hospitality establishment, facilities and enterprises must, prior to receiving guests, obtain a health certification license or permit in compliance with the provision of the protocols for International Tourism Revival Initiative. Further information and applications forms are available on the NTB website at www.namibiatourism.com.na. In conclusion, I would like to thank the tourism industry and other stakeholders that have contributed to the development of these protocols, especially the affected line ministries. This marks an important first step to get the sector back on track, and I am confident that we will be able to ensure the regrowth and the resilience of this important sector without jeopardizing public health. And I want to thank you for your humble attention. If there is any question, you're welcome to ask. I know that the public has been eagerly waiting for this, and there are many questions when are we opening our borders? Now it's clear we have signed this protocol. The international airport will open on the 1st of September to the travelers, international travelers. And I think that under these circumstances, a very step ahead to revive our tourism industry. So, any questions? Yes.
And what about those traveling by road?
What's your name again?
Pardon?
What's your name?
Jeff Tajuni.
Oh, I can't recognize. You see, that's a good thing. You can always sneak in and pass by somebody you pass by your creditor without not seeing that you are my debtor. You have to pay. You are saying?
You were asking about those tourists that are traveling via road, using the airplane as well.
Unfortunately, by then, 1st September, that's next week, it will not be yet. Borders except our ports of entry, except Hosea Kutako International Airport. So, because this is specifically targeting tourists, and we will consider that as time goes. depends on the situation regarding COVID pandemic. But for now, we are targeting more of those who come so that we can control the stream, the in-stream, because if you allow everywhere, you might not be able to control. But as time goes on, we will be able to also allow certain borders, open certain borders first. This is something that we never expected in our lifetime, so something extraordinary, very extraordinary. It's unprecedented, so we have to deal with it very, very meticulously in order not to, cause the situation to worse. So that's why we first have to start with that, because that's first September to December is our peak time. It's a peak season for tourists, international tourists, and we have to make it that we start now and later on start opening also some other border posts, road by road. So, but for now it's only for Hosea Kutapa International Airport. Any questions? I think it's clear. It's COVID time now. Everybody is scared. Your faces tell me that you are scared. Thank you very much. I think Romeo will send you everything to you, including the protocols, the signed protocols, and the statement here.